Blessings, everyone. Greetings, greetings, and greetings. Thank you for tuning in tonight for the Wisconsin Revival Rally Show. And I am your host, the one and only Dr. David D. King, your next Lieutenant Governor. And I am excited to be with you guys on tonight. And you guys, she is back from her long, long vacation. She has been busy over in Jackson County. She has been busy um, as one of the newest Jackson County um, board of supervisor, y'all. So I'm grateful to have her with me tonight, and she's back. Let me get set up here, fixing what's behind me so I can sit up. A little more on you guys. All right, there we go. So she's back with us tonight, and I am so excited to have her back, co-host, the constitutional queen herself. She is the one and only Sarah, and not Sarah Palin.
No.
Come on in. Introduce yourself to those who don't know the new county supervisor.
Well, hi there. I'm Sarah Peliquin. I'm District 15 County Board of Supervisors in Jackson County, Wisconsin. I'm a mother of 5. And I'm a wife of 16 years in July, so that's kind of exciting. And yeah, so I took on quite a bit. And you said vacation. I'd like to see that vacation because yeah, it hasn't been a vacation. I've been getting into my role as county board supervisor, and I'm still trying to juggle homeschooling and just family stuff going on. So but yeah, I'm back and enjoying my time here in the air conditioning because it is seriously a furnace outside. So looking forward to having a discussion tonight.
Oh, yes. And we're so glad to have you back, and did a lot of different shows since you've been gone. We even did a show on why the inner city Black community want to fire John Chisholm. So
Nice.
so that was very interesting as well. So we really want to welcome everybody. Welcome Twitter, welcome YouTube, welcome Facebook, and welcome LinkedIn. So we are all here tonight, and we want to welcome you guys and joining us. And so, see, I wasn't gonna put her on. I was gonna put her on the spot, but then I said no, I'm not gonna mess with her tonight. I was gonna have her sing the national anthem and just mess her up all the way, but I'm gonna be nice tonight.
Thank you,
But
because I don't know if my voice would take it tonight.
hey, Rustin, we got
Hey,
Rustin
Rustin.
on. Y'all check in, y'all chime in and everything. And
Nice. Oh, they're coming out with the hard ones all right away.
Dr. King, what makes you different than Wickman and Utes? Kyle Utes. Wow. They coming out. We didn't even get a chance to talk about the primary yet.
Yeah.
Okay. The difference between Kyle Utes, Jonathan Wickman, and myself is character, honesty, and experience. Experience working in the business arena as well as working in the community, knowing what's going on with families, and knowing what's going on with life. Period. And so the difference between us is consistency. Since we got in the race, a couple of them. Well, Jonathan Wickman was confused about a lot of things. He said God told him to run for governor. Then he jumped down to the lieutenant governor race. And then he said he didn't want to split the Patriot votes in the governor's race. Then he's running around telling people he did the math numbers and he knew nowhere that there was no chance he could win. He latched himself onto Tim Rathun, thinking that Tim Rathun was going to get Trump's endorsement. And then when Trump's endorsement went the other way, he ended up saying that Trump needs to stay out of Wisconsin politics. So consistency and honesty. I'm not trying to create an image for you to like me. I'm showing you what you're going to get. You're getting a fighter. The difference between me and Kyle Utz is the same thing: consistency. He went from jumping in a race because nobody was to he helped everybody around the world. He helped everybody around the country during the COVID and helped them get their business back up. Then he helped out. He claimed he helped police officers. Every time you turn around, it's something new that he's trying to add to his resume. My resume stays the same. 30 years managing $1 million company, pastor for over 24 years, nonprofit for over 24 years. Not only that, but I also have been fighting for a long time. I didn't wait till 2020 to get into the fight. I've been in the fight a very long time. So that's what separates me: consistency, honesty, and character is what separate me from them two. Thanks for that question. Thank you so much for your question. And anybody that want to hit me with questions tonight, you more than welcome to while we're doing this show, because this show we're talking about the importance of the primary. That is what we're going to talk about, why the primary is so important to a lot of us. And I believe that a lot of people don't pay the primary no attention too much. I think that they wait until the people are picked, and then they say, well, now we need to vote for the lesser of the two evils.
Yeah.
I think we need to do our homework in primary, and then when we do our homework in the primary, we're making sure that we got the best candidate out there representing us and fighting for us, and knowing that they are going to fight. I just looked over in California with the truckers, and the truckers by June 24th, a lot of the truckers, owned and operated, they're going to be in trouble and because of the law that's being passed there. And so this is why it is so important that we, bless you, this is why we got to make sure that we got fighters that's going to fight for our truckers, fight for our dairy farmers, fight for our children, fight for the economy. I mean, we just need fighters. To me, that's what we need right now. We need somebody that is not just going to go in there to get along. We need somebody, I like to call it raising hell, R-A-Z-E, not R-A-I-S-E, but R-A-Z-E, tear down. We got to stand strong right now with everything that's going on. And the problem, especially even in Milwaukee, and the Democrats know this, a lot of people will not go out in that primary and vote. They'll wait for the big election on the 9th. And that's why they don't push the primary as much as they should, because they know that if you got a strong candidate, we're not going to push that primary, and people is not going to go out, because in some people's mind, they think that you're going to be on the ballot November. So while we was at Juneteenth Day, we had a lot of people was thinking about November. We was like, no. We need you to vote in August. August 9th is when you got to vote. And so we're encouraging everybody that they have to retrain their family and their friends, because the most important is the primary. Then you don't have to vote for the lesser of the two evils. I see Pastor Elaine is on here. God bless you, ma'am. Welcome. Come on, Sarah, jump in here.
Oh, okay. I was just letting you roll. It was really good. Yeah, no, it was interesting. Right after state convention, I was reading some of the blowback that came out from both sides of the field, and it was just really interesting. My favorite response was from Sheriff David Clark, and why he was so proud of everybody for not endorsing candidates before the primary. And it was just like the idea that we are the elite somehow have the ability to let the rest of the state know who should be the main candidate. It really boggles my mind, because at one point in this country, when our Constitution was written, the whole point was so that everybody who was of voting age, who had had skin in the game, had to inform themselves. They had to educate. They had to learn their candidates and find out their character and find out their integrity. They voted for them based on what their values were, not how popular they were, not that they were the establishment, none of those things, or not that there was an elite group of 1,600 people in Madison, Wisconsin, which, can I just say, having state convention for the Republican Party in Madison? Are you kidding me? It's like that's that's a highly Democratic area that doesn't represent conservatives at all, and we had it in that area of the state. It just boggles my mind again. But
right, I mean, why they didn't put that in a conservative area?
Yeah.
Because we're spending the money, right?
Right. I mean, you think about the fact we just gave Madison, Wisconsin, hundreds of thousands of dollars to host a Republican Party convention. So we just funded the tourism industry in Democrat Madison. I mean, it just, why not choose some of these hurting Republican areas, the conservative areas that need that revenue, that need that support, and bring it to the people, so that we're not just showing ourselves as just as elite as the Democratic side. It just, yeah, we've got our principles and values so twisted up because we haven't based them on the foundation that doesn't change. We've based it on how popular we are, how much we want to be liked by others, so that we can win votes. And to me, going into the primaries, that shouldn't be what we're going for.
Right. And that's why we lose so much, because everybody is too busy trying to be nice. Lives is at stake. Yeah. If the ship is going down, I don't need you to be nice. I need you to help fix the leak in the ship. Not be nice and say, "Oh, you're doing a wonderful job." No, get your tail down here and help me stop this leak.
Yeah,
and
it would be like hitting an iceberg, and the band is playing, and they're going, "Oh, but we're playing beautiful music. Doesn't it sound great?" And they're like, "No, we're dying. We're going to be drowning in just a few minutes. I don't care what you're playing."
Right. And that's just like a robber breaks in your house and you say, "You hungry? Should I make you a plate?" Like, come on, you guys. Why do we always got to try to be the nice? I mean, we're supposed to love everybody, but we ain't supposed to we ain't supposed to be no doormat.
Yes,
and it looked like we're the doormat, right?
Yeah. Well, and this is the difference. This is the mindset that we have, because we're so stuck on the government's going to fix our problems. The government's going to take control of things and make sure that we're all doing, we're taking care of the poor. The government's taking care of the people. That's not how it's supposed to work. The government themselves, we're supposed to be taking care that the government never infringes on those aspects of our life. As individuals, yes, we are called to love others. We are called to serve in our communities. We're called to serve to the poor and the needy and the oppressed. Where on earth did we ever get the idea that the government was supposed to do that? And it's the Democrats and the Republicans. So I'm not picking on one side at all.
And one of the things that, let's see, because we rise above, we let our actions speak for us, not our words. I like that. I like that comment. Yeah. I like that comment. And it is about action. It's not about words. It's not about one of the things that if we're not careful, like I tell people all the time, one of the things if we're not careful is that we're going to mess around and we're going to vote for an image.
Yeah.
Not the person, but an image.
Yes.
And if you vote for the image and when they get in office, the real person come forth. The image is gone now. Yep. And this person is not a fighter. This person is not someone that's going to do what you want done. Yep. This person is just, he created an image, you liked the image, and then when you got that image after the primary and stuff, and now your mouth is dropping because you don't have what you thought you was getting.
Yeah.
So it is important that we vet everybody before the primary.
Yep.
find out what they really stand for, move the act out of the way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Nice.
What did he say?
Yeah. Yeah, and this is something I wanted to get at, because I will hear so many people say, I just don't have time to look up every name and find out their, their history and stuff like that. Okay, here, I'm a mom of 5
Oh, that is
homeschooling.
good.
Yeah. I'm a mom of 5 homeschooling my kids. I don't have extra time to be spending on vetting every candidate that comes along, but you know what? I can vet a few, and I can vet the ones that stand out. I can vet the ones that I've seen their record. I can go on and find out how they voted. There are so many websites out there that offer analyses on how have they voted. If they're incumbents, how have they voted? What do they look like on the floor when they're putting up their vote and they're putting up their hand and saying I or nay, right? Like, we can see those records because they're there. And yeah, it does take a lot of time. It does take a lot of research. But if I, as a mother of 5, homeschooling my children, can do it, I guarantee you anybody
but wait a
else.
minute. Watch this. You say it take a lot of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It takes the same amount of time if you are looking for a job. It takes the same amount of time if you're looking for a good school for your kids.
Yep.
It takes the same amount of time. You sitting by the computer. It's not a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's just, do you want to spend that time? Because
Yes.
I think some people just don't want to spend time vetting people, that they just accept what they say because it sounds good.
Yeah.
Just like I always tell people, a politician is like a fake preacher. When a fake preacher come into town, he want to know what's going on in that town before he get there, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So if, let's say you're in a town and you didn't have rain, right? So the first thing the preacher gonna say, it's gonna rain, because that's what he know you want.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yep.
the politician comes and they say exactly what you want to hear. And when you allow them to do that,
yeah, Ruth, I have the same issue. A lot of people asking who they should vote for. And these are people, like, they should know better. They fought in a war. They're older than me. They should know better than to ask the newbie who they should vote for. But I will say, and I'm not excusing, but I will say that after spending 100 years of indoctrinating students in the public education system the government-run education system, to just go along and listen to your experts and listen to your authorities, then I can understand where they're coming from, why they're asking. It is a hard habit to break once you've gotten so used to being a sheep, to break out of that and say, no, I'm going to be a lion and I'm going to do my own research.
That's right. And see, I like that comment, Brandon, because here's the thing. Evers won because they had a black face and they wanted to legalize marijuana. Nobody did homework, because I guarantee you the same people, hey, Ruth, look in your inbox. The same people that was crying about Common Core and the math that was in the schools didn't know that the person put it there, it was the person they voted for governor.
Yep.
Because why? There's no homework done.
Yep.
Nobody did no homework.
Yep.
Because when you talk to certain people, they be like, oh, he was over DPI? Where you been?
Yeah.
So this is why primary, because, and also when you talked about the indoctrination, right?
Yes.
We was indoctrinated to let two parties tell us who to vote for.
Yeah.
So if you got a good candidate on either side, that might be for the people, right?
Mm-hmm.
The party says, oh no, you're not going against what we're going to do. So guess what? We're gonna smother you, and we're gonna tell the people who to vote for.
Can we get an IQ test? I like that one. Yeah. A well-informed citizenry. That was one of the safeguards to keep our Constitution. And obviously, our citizenry is no longer well-informed and, like you said, lazy about it.
I was up in La Crosse, and a lady asked me about Constitution Convention, right?
Mm-hmm. Which one? The first one or the one, the Article 5 convention? Because those are different.
No, That's what I asked her. She was like, just answer the question. I said, no, I need to know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
But the one she was talking about, she said, Teston wrote a bill to help rewrite the Constitution. And she said, are you
okay?
for the
Teston has a lot of problems, but that is not what he wrote.
And I'm sitting there telling her, I'm like, okay, do you understand? See, because we got all these people who saying, oh, I'm a constitutionalist, and I'm sitting there like, okay, are you really, really a true are you really for the Constitution? Are you really, right?
Yeah.
So we got people who claim they're for the Constitution, and guess the first thing they say? If our candidate don't win, we're not gonna vote. You're not for the Constitution, then.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there like, that is the most craziest thing I ever heard in my life. But you're not for the Constitution. Matter of fact, go look at the true Tea Parties and see the Tea Parties. If their candidate didn't win, they stayed with the goal. The goal was to get the Democrat out of office.
Yep.
That was the goal.
Yep.
And so,
yeah.
So when we're talking about the primary, right? And we're talking about, people don't understand. One of the things happened in Milwaukee was because Republicans wasn't running nobody in Milwaukee like they should have. It was a Democrat primary, winner take all.
Yep.
And then there was some parts of the states where the Democrats wasn't running nobody.
Yeah.
I think they had that set up where they was just saying, I won't mess with yours, you don't mess with mine.
I mean, yeah, you wonder how much of that is kind of back party deals kind of thing, backdoor deals, but yeah.
Because they wouldn't touch it. They'd be like, no, I'm not going to touch that one. You don't touch that, I won't touch that.
Yeah, I know. And how do you change things? That was one of the things that I was talking about when I was at convention and people were talking about, oh, we're just going to vote for, the main candidate. I'm like, well, we don't have a main candidate yet. We have several candidates running, right? And that was one of the things that I said about you is like, have you been watching Dr. King? He goes to barbershops and he goes into Democrat-led cities and he talks to people on both sides of the aisle. Now, tell me which of those establishment candidates on the Republican side actually would even think about going to the Democrats and saying, hey, I'd like to chat. I'd like to tell you why I would be a good candidate, because I would be a candidate. I would be a governor for both of you. I would be governor for Republicans. I'm governor for Democrats. I'm governor for independents. And I'm governor for those who don't care. Right. Like,
right.
But the idea is, oh, we're just going to talk to our party base and we're going to get all the votes we can from our party base. You're never going to win the country that way. You're never going to keep the Constitution that way. You need to talk to the people, because the people are the ones voting you in. And even the ones, and this is why we have this issue when the Democrat loses, they're like, well, he's not my president. And when the Republicans lose, he's not my president. Although this last election is kind of true, but but this idea that I'm, oh, my candidate doesn't win, and so and the Democrat Party won, I'm not going to count this leader as my president or my senator or whatever. No, whatever the decisions they make on those levels are going to affect all of us, not just the Democrats.
And I watched at Juneteenth Day. You had Democrats, far left. Hey, you far left, screaming at the Republican booth and stuff like that, right? And then I watched the Republicans was talking to them, and they was in a debate. It almost looked like a heated debate over there. But I'm standing not far away from them, holding the same conversation with Democrats.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there was a group. It was a group of young women, right?
Yep.
Who was working for Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
And we had one of the most awesome conversations.
Yeah.
Because why? And I told the Republicans, I said, if you let me teach you guys, I can show you how to go into any territory and have a good conversation about the politics and about race. This one guy, he walks up on me, and I was standing by the Republican booth passing out cards. He said, "Are you with them?" I said, "Yes, I am. I got to ask you one question." And he was like, "So you're a Republican?" I said, "Yes." I said, "But before we go there, let me ask you one question." He said, "What?" And I said, who control Milwaukee, Democrats or Republicans? He said, Republicans. I said, nope. He walked away mad. He
Yeah.
was like, I don't even want to talk no more. And I was like, see, that's how you get them. All you got to do is slow down, stay on the offense, you know, and you'll be able to share with anybody. Then we met a young man. This guy, he got a brain on him. I like what he was thinking. He was talking about creating a whole new party, everything.
Oh, wow.
And he made some valid points that if the Democrat Party and the Republican Party is not careful, both parties gonna collapse.
Oh, and they're already, I mean, they're already headed that way. It can't sustain itself much longer because of the way that they're running our nation into the ground. So, yeah.
Jump in, Ruth.
Did we have a specific question that was asked?
No, we're just talking back and forth.
Yeah, I thought it was quite interesting when you had mentioned that, David, about just keeping your cool. And I don't know what it is. There's always got to be this sense of I win. I won. Where you're really not listening. And if you really listen, if you really pay attention, there's so many concerns that are valid, and people don't want to hear, oh no, you're wrong. No, we have forgotten how to listen to people and validating their concerns. First you validate their concerns, because if they weren't concerned, they wouldn't bring it up. If they didn't feel so passionately about something, they wouldn't bring it up. And so, if you want to be a representative of the people, well, you have to listen. It's not, my way or the highway. It is really acknowledging why they feel that way. And, how do you think that I can help you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because the only way to
that I can do for you.
Yep. Because the only way to combat, I don't want to say bad ideas. I mean, the only way to combat bad ideas is to have good ones. And so if you bring those into discussion, they might have valid concerns, but their ideas for fixing it are the bad things, right? And so you address the concern and you go, hey, but I've got a better solution. I've got a solution that's probably going to work better, and it's not going to need the government to do it, right? And so you try to bring those types of things into the conversation. Not everybody's going to listen. A lot of people are going to walk away and they're going to be angry and just be like, you don't know what you're talking about. But what about those people that are sitting in the sidelines? They just want to live their lives. They aren't well informed because we've been so indoctrinated and because we've been so beat down by everything. And so you bring that one point up and they're like, I never even thought of that before, Right.
And also when you do it, right? And you say, first of all, there's one line we gotta stop using. We gotta stop using. And that one line is, we freed the slaves. Ain't none of these people care about slaves. No. They always saying it. We the party that freed the slaves.
Yeah, and you know what? The party that freed the slaves doesn't look anything like the Republican Party today. So we need to just get over ourselves.
Right. Get over that.
Slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get over that, and let's talk about life right now. Let's talk about our kids' education. Let's talk about the economy. Democrat folks lost their business too when Eva shut it down. It wasn't like it was just Republicans. Let's talk about life and how to fix it, how to jumpstart it, how to get it going back. Let's make sure we don't end up like California. Let's make sure that we prepare ourselves, because we know there's a shortage coming. There's a famine coming. So we have to prepare ourselves now. So all this, and this is not going to just affect the Democrat Party. It's going to affect the Democrats, the Republicans, the Independents, the Libertarians. It's going to affect all of us. But do we have a plan in place when it happened? We already saw we didn't have a plan in place when 2020 hit us.
Yeah.
So if we get into another crisis and we're not prepared, then shame on us.
Yep, exactly.
So these are the things that we should be having those conversations, because I guarantee you, if you're talking about baby formula, there's Democrats and Republicans in need of baby formula right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and those babies aren't caring whether you wear red or blue.
not at all. Not at all. But but the thing about it is we so stuck on ourselves, whether the Democrat Party or Republican, that we're so stuck on ourselves that we're not stuck on the people.
Mm-hmm.
And we're missing out on the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just the basic table talk conversations, you know, the things that are affecting your family, you know, that's exactly, you know, yeah, we have some other issues that are going on, and it's not like they're not important. They are very important. But what's important to the American people right now are it's what's affecting their everyday lives.
Right.
Exactly.
They
And
want us to
J-Rod,
move forward. They want a plan, you know, on what are we going to
Yeah.
do? Stop pointing the finger and what are you going to do?
right.
Yeah.
And let me say this, J-Rod, we is not letting you move to no island. You're gonna help us fix this state.
Yep. Hey, if I gotta stay here, you gotta stay.
I know you're gonna stay here and help us fix this state. Because here's the thing about it. It's gonna take all of us.
Yeah.
See, and we can't afford, this is why the primary is so important. We cannot afford to put somebody who's wishy-washy. They change every time the wind blows. It's a new phase, it's a new thing. We need consistency, we need problem solvers, we need somebody that's bold, we need folks that's gonna make some strong decisions that's gonna better the whole state.
Yep.
That's what we need. If we don't have that, and you put these folks in office, then I'm going to an island, J-Rod. I'm going to an island because they ain't gonna know what to do.
Yeah.
Because they never had to solve problems before.
I hear there's an island somewhere in the Pacific that you could actually go there and start your own nation, and there you can, like, they pay you, but it takes months to get there because there's no actual way you can fly in, so you have to go by boat and by all sorts of other things. So good luck with that.
So are we allowed to
Answer questions?
oh, it's an island, so you can't even make a basement. So when the hurricanes come,
You're stuck.
you're stuck. So no, thank you.
And I'm sorry. I was reading somebody's message. They wanted to get specifics on our stance on certain things, but it went too fast.
Yeah.
Oh,
So gun rights and marijuana.
No more bullet points. More, I want detail, and that's what we got to give people. You got to give them detail. You got to have solutions. You can't just say I want to run just to be in office. Okay, what are you gonna do when you get there?
Yeah.
Have you ever solved the problem?
Specifically when it comes to, you know, our Second Amendment rights, you know, I wholeheartedly believe in our Constitution. You can't fix, you know, a problem by taking somebody else's rights away. And so you know, we need to protect that at all costs.
Well, let me say something about Second Amendment, because what we don't realize is they setting us up like Germany.
Yep.
Germany had a list of everybody that had guns.
Yep.
By having a CCW, you own the list of everybody that have guns.
Yep. Yeah, this is the thing. What we need to do about the gun rights thing, it should not be on the state level. It is already constitutionally protected. You have a right to keep and bear arms. If you want to have a cannon in your backyard, you should be able to do that. I had one of the candidates for district attorney, I believe, who was, or was it attorney general, one of the two, who was talking about how, no, you can't have certain things, you can't have certain arms, because it was just talking about things like, you know, and I'm like, nope, you've already lost me, because the Second Amendment says you have the right to keep and bear arms. It shall not be infringed by the government. That means that you have the right to have as many without anybody else in the government knowing that you've got them. And, you know, mine, I lost them somewhere in a boat, in a lake somewhere, so nobody knows I've got them. But this is the thing. These are Brandon, you're right, not optional. We've got to start getting candidates to admit that if the moment they start coming down with red flag laws, with anything that concealed carry, none of these are constitutional. Not one of them.
But you know, I always have said you can have my bullets, but you won't get my guns. And it all depends on how you get the bullets, right?
Right, exactly.
So, but you know, I'm all in that. And you know, the problem I have since this election, when it came to our Second Amendment, is people who have orange on their literature talking about their Second Amendment.
Mhm.
Hunting has nothing to do with the Second Amendment.
It does not. No, they didn't. So I'm sorry. The
Exactly.
founding fathers, when they wrote the Constitution, did not just get back from a group hunting trip. They got back from fighting in a war. Sorry. That's
Yes, Brandon, I have always been, Brandon, for constitutional carry ever since the Tea Party. I was a keynote speaker at all the Tea Parties. I spoke at open carry rallies. All you got to do is look me up on YouTube, Pastor David D. King, Tea Party, and you will see I have always been. We should have never got CCW. We should have always had constitutional carry.
yeah.
So yes, I have always been.
Yeah. If we're not careful, they're going to weaponize our fishing poles.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I know, right?
This is the thing. We need to stop asking permission from the government. These are constitutionally protected rights, not constitutionally given rights. And so the moment we start asking permission, we are immediately handing over those rights and saying, oh, you government, you get to decide whether I have them or not. And we need to stop doing that.
And you exactly. And I keep trying to tell people, Wisconsin is a nation by itself.
Mhm.
And we can stand on a lot of things that we don't even have to worry about.
Yep. Did you know our founding fathers used to say these United States? They didn't say the United States. They said these United States.
Right.
Yep.
It is an assault pole.
Nice. How about the fishing, like the fishing knife? This, what is that? The descaler or whatever they call those? I'm not a fisherman, so I don't know.
No. But and you know, these are the things that we've got to have conversation from now into August, right?
Yep.
For the primary. This is why we got to get them out to vote in the primary and say, listen, your children's rights is at stake right now.
Yep.
Your personal rights is at stake right now. They done took your rights from you, taking your child to the doctor right now.
Yep.
You know how many people stopping their kids going to the doctors because of that?
Yep.
You know, so we have to restore families. We have to restore parents' rights.
Yep.
We have to jumpstart Wisconsin economy. We're not worried about the whole nation right now. We're worried about Wisconsin. We got to start Wisconsin economy again. We got to make sure our dairy farmers is okay. We got to make sure. Who is that?
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
We have to make sure that we are all doing things to stand on our own as Wisconsin. We can tell the federal Department of Education, kiss our grits. We don't want that money with all those strings coming with that money. We're going to run our education from a state level.
Yeah.
You know, these are the things that we're supposed to be ready to do and ready to take the heat when you stand for what's right.
Yeah.
I don't trust. Here's the thing, and then I'll let you go. I don't trust I'll be honest. I don't trust no lieutenant governor candidate. When the heat comes, they're gonna stand up for us.
Yeah. I
don't see it. I see them putting their tail between their legs and go hiding somewhere because they have never been in that they've never been under that kind of pressure.
Yeah.
Now, me speaking at tea parties and then going back into the city of Milwaukee and listening to folks call me Uncle Tom's, which they didn't know was a compliment. I was like, thank you, idiot. Read a book. But
it's a good book.
You know, but if you're not used to those kind of things and you're not used to them trying to come at you, and you ain't gonna stand.
Yeah.
You're not gonna stand. And I don't need nobody folding on my children or my grandchildren. I don't need that right now.
Yep.
Well, I have to put this in there too, David, because, I obviously, running for office, I get that question and they're like, well, what are you going to do for me? And really, I'm one person. Okay. One individual. What are you doing to help yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to hear your story too and what you're doing to help yourself, because, I'm going to go out there and I'm just an extension of what you're willing to do for yourself. If you're not willing to do something for yourself, well, then you're a lost cause already. I'm sorry. You know what I
Yep.
mean? I'm not trying to do something for you. I'm not trying to be your government.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm on board with a whole lot of things, but you got to show me what you're willing to do too. And I found
Yeah.
that out the hard way when dealing with the nurses. And if there's any nurses or healthcare professionals on here or who are going to be listening to me, you have no idea how many of them said, well, I really, really, what you did, taking out your retirement, to help pay for litigation and all that stuff, that's great, but I just don't think that I could do it myself. Well, then you
Mhm.
don't love your rights as much as you think you do.
Yep.
And how is
And
somebody else supposed to fight for
Yep.
you when you're not willing to fight for yourself?
Yep.
well, here's the thing. What I tell them, I say I can't help you unless you help me help you. You have to vote me in
Yeah.
so I can help you.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you say, okay, what do you need me to fight for? Because when you vote me in, you vote me to go fight for you. So
Yeah.
what do you want me to fight for?
So yeah, so this is the thing. So the government on any level has one job, and that is to protect human rights. That's it. That is the only job that they have. There are 7 leadership roles that come before government ever gets into place. So we do not understand that as a country. We don't understand that the government is like the last ditch effort. They're the not the front line. They're the what do you call it? They're the ones you send out when our government or when our rights are being violated or are being
Right.
put in danger. And so we have family first. Family. Guess who's responsible for the education of their children? That's the family, right? That's where the education should come from. Parents should be deciding what they want, how they want their children to be educated, right? We have the religious aspect of government of leadership roles, right? We have the church. That's and it might not be the church, it might be some other form of religion, but whatever it is, there's that level of leadership. And then we have education again, but that's not government run, that's parent led, that's family led, that's community led, right? And so we've got all of these things that come before government ever gets their hands on anything. And the only thing that they have to do, the only job they have, is to protect human rights. And they're doing a really crappy job of it right now because we've given them every other job except for that one.
And
Yeah, and it really does come down to community, because I don't know how many times I've tried to, emphasize that even within, my own, friends and family. When somebody passes away in your community, I'm probably one of the first people out there that are trying to collect funds to cover funeral costs, because these are our community members.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't have to worry about any of that. Everybody's on a different level. Maybe somebody needs 2,000, maybe somebody needs 6. It is what it is, but we're a huge community. Why would we not do something like that? Or an effort for what happened to our weddings, where everybody would bring a dish and everybody had a festivity, and our elders.
Yeah.
Because we not taught community no more.
Nope.
We used to have community where
gone.
everybody would come together. And I remember growing up in a community where when my mom worked second shift, we still had to be on that porch by the time that street light come on.
Yep.
We still had to be in the house, because if we wasn't, Miss Jones or Miss Brown or Miss Robinson will come over there and make sure you in there, or Mr. Jones or or Mr. Robinson will make sure that you're going to be in that house. And and that's community, right?
Yeah.
Who's my neighbor? You guys are in Sheboygan and in Black Rivers.
Yep.
You guys are my neighbors.
Yep.
My neighbor is not just the person next door to me. It's everybody. And so when we go into office, we don't go into office just for Republicans. We go into office for every individual in the state of Wisconsin.
Yep.
And that's why I love it when God says he reigns on the just as well as the unjust.
Yeah.
So we take care of everybody.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to look at. When we go in there to make a decision, we're making that decision for everybody. We're not making it for the team. So quote unquote, the team itself look good. We're doing it so everybody can have a good life. And we're making sure that nobody is oppressed by government, oppressed by education, oppressed by medical. I mean, we got to make sure everybody has the right to the American dream. Everybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's just interesting. Even in this small town, I know a few of my neighbors personally, and most of the ones around, I know them well enough to trust them, because my kids play with the other kids in the neighborhood and stuff. But I just recently had a neighbor a couple doors down from us in Kitty Corner came over to lecture me for like half an hour about how bad of a mother I was because he caught my kids wandering around the neighborhood. They were not even a block away. Like I could have seen him outside my window. And he kept going on and on about how when he was raising his kids, he would never have let them wander the roads and stuff like that. And it was like, that's not what being a good neighbor is. That's saying, hey, does your mom know where you are? Can I walk you home and make sure you get home safely? Right. That's what I would have done with his kids. But like I was a latchkey kid. We wandered the neighborhood. And like you said, Dr. King, as soon as those streetlights came on, we had to be back home. We had to be back home before they came on, but that was just, I mean, everybody in the neighborhood was looking out for everybody else. And so, yeah, I would love to see that come, even in a small town. Having that not be the case is really sad to me because I know I'm not a perfect mom, but I'm a pretty darn good one. So I don't need a neighbor coming over to lecture me about it.
And the thing about it is this: in order to fix any problem in our state, we got to admit we got a problem first.
Oh yeah.
And and I mean that's the first thing we got to do. We got to admit that there's a problem. Secondly, we got to admit that we caused the problem. We can't point the finger and say, "Oh, so and so them did it." No, we did it, right? So now, and it started with us voting. It started with us not going in the primary. When we look at it, in these primaries, right? You got 8 candidates.
Yeah.
Are we that lazy that we don't want to know nothing about them? Or do we even question candidates?
Yeah.
If they're lying in the primary and they're not consistent in the primary, why do we stay with them until the end of the primary?
Yeah. Well, I heard once that if you want to change your country, you have got to understand, and you have to vote even for the town animal guy, like animal catcher, right? The dog catcher, right? Because that's the point. You start on those local levels. If you get people of integrity in those positions, then it snowballs from there, because guess what? They're the ones running that local community, representing that local community. They're putting plans into place. We've got 3 or 4 conservatives on our county board right now. We're putting plans into place to hopefully eventually become a constitutional county. If we start that here, because we've already got a big, strong, conservative leaning in this county, thanks to hard work building up to it. But if we start there, we're going to start seeing like creating leaders of integrity from our own counties that we're going to be like, oh, I trust you to go to Madison and represent me, right? I trust you to go to Washington, D.C. and represent me. But if we're not starting here and we don't even know who our dog catcher is, let alone the president of the United States, again, that's kind of up in the air anyway. But if we don't know that on the local level, then how on earth are we ever going to change the state and federal government?
Here's the thing. And this is something that, and I'm gonna pick on you ladies tonight, right?
Oh, no.
So let's see, which one of y'all should I pick on?
Mike.
I do Ruth. So let's say Ruth and Jeff, right? Let's say Ruth and Jeff are dating, and every time his phone rings, he gets up and walk away and answer that phone. Right? That's a red flag.
It's his mom.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, and he said it's his mom, right?
Yeah.
But you notice that any other person call, he answer the phone in front of you. But when a certain call comes, he gets up and he walks away.
Yeah.
That's a red flag, right?
Yep.
And then she says, oh, you got off at 4:00. What happened? And he was like, well, I stayed overtime. And then she wait a minute, because you know how you women do. You wait and then you bring it back up, right? And
Yeah.
then he was like, well, I didn't stay after I dropped somebody off. And then you be like, wait a minute, you told me you stayed after. So if we do that in relationships, right?
Yeah.
And we notice the red flags.
Yeah.
When candidates, whether it's governor, lieutenant governor, dog catcher, if they're not consistent, and it's hard to be consistent with a lie. You lie and it's gone. Because you don't talk to so many people, you don't even know what the lie is anymore.
Right.
So now your action shows that lie. You mean, wait a minute, they lied about this and they lied about that, but yet we stay with them. So what we asking? We're asking to be deceived. We're asking to be lied to. Hold on, let me put some of these up.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. That last sentence I don't understand, but the rest of it I agree with completely. That there has definitely been election issues that we need to deal with on state and then national, and the WEC isn't even constitutional, so it should not even be a thing. It should be abolished completely.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to figure out who is this Brandon guy.
Brandon.
It's not Let's Go, Brandon.
No, because that last section, that last saying, selected, not elected.
Yes.
All right.
Oh,
Right?
okay. Now I get it. Yeah. No, they are not elected officials.
No. I'm trying to figure out who Brandon is, because there's a group that's been using that phrase.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Oh, I know who he is now. Okay. All right. Okay. How you doing, Brandon, sir? I know who you are now. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know you well aware of that group, sir. I know who you are now. I'm glad you're on here with me, sir. I'm glad you're here. But there is a group that always hollers select, not elect.
Okay.
But one of the leaders, I'm glad you're here, sir. With the utmost respect, I am glad you're here. But okay, let's look at the WC for a minute, okay?
Yeah.
We know the WC is crooked, right?
Yep.
But they only changed the name WC, right? Because you know what it was before WC, right? GAB.
Nope.
Oh, GAB. Yes. Okay, yeah.
GAB.
I get it.
Government Accountability Board.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I still call our campaign finance stuff for my treasurer stuff.
Right. So they removed the Government Accountability Board. Then the Republicans is the one who put in the WEC.
Yeah. Yep. So the WEC is not, like you said, it's not elected, and it is completely not constitutional, because the only thing that the federal government has the power to do on the legislative level is to decide the time and manner of elections, and then the states are responsible for the rest of it. They're state legislator. Any lawmaking bodies are the ones. Elected lawmaking bodies are the ones responsible for elections, because and the most responsible are the ones that are close enough for Wisconsin people to kick. So that would be our state legislature. And so the WEC, when they handed off that authority to the WEC, they were violating both the state and the federal constitution by doing so.
Right. And so I think that when we look at everything, we don't need people discouraged. We need them to vote August 9th.
Yeah.
And if they vote August 9th, they'll be hyped for November
Yep.
because they got their in. I still got to go back to that select, not elect, because the group that used that, right?
I don't know if it's just me, but everybody's kind of broken up.
Is it?
I can remove my background and that might help with the bandwidth.
Yeah, me too. Let me move my background.
Then you get to see my messy room.
Hold on. And maybe that'll work. There. Is that better?
Okay.
So
Hopefully.
Okay. As you're aware, I have been known as being affiliated with that group. However, I am here strictly to
I
hear
can
all
hear
sides.
it better, but it was for whatever reason breaking up.
Are we breaking up now?
You're frozen though, Ruth.
Oh.
On my end, you're frozen.
What about me? Can you hear me pretty good?
No.
Sarah, can you hear me
It's all
pretty good?
coming in and out.
I can hear you pretty good, Dr. King.
Okay. So that's might be your connection, Ruth.
Okay.
Let's see. I am aware. I have been known as being affiliated with that group. However, I am here to strictly hear all sides. That is why I'm asking respectful questions. Okay, I'm glad you're doing that, sir. So Ruth, is your connection? People saying they have a problem hearing, and Brandon, I'm glad you hear respectfully to hear both sides, because here's the thing about it: your children, your grandchildren, their future is at stake too. One bad decision in this election, and we in trouble. Yeah. One bad decision, and we in trouble.
Yep.
And let's go back to that group real quick. That group that was hollering selected, not elected. Did you not know one went begging to be selected at the convention?
Yep.
That's interesting.
At the convention.
At the convention. Brandon is out here individually. He's not with a group. He's out here respect. Oh, you didn't know that, Brandon? Okay, let me explain it to you. If you go on his page, you will see his speech. And what he said in the speech, Brandon, was, I deserve the endorsement. He said, I deserve the endorsement. The same person. That's why I say we got to, when you wanted to learn more, we're not blocking nobody. We want everybody to come, whether they disrespect. I mean, if they disrespectful or not, we're going to love them anyway. Anybody can come and be a part of the group. I don't have a problem with it. I answer any question anybody got. I'm okay with it, you know. Brandon, let me ask you a question. Do you mind if I break it down? We're going to stop talking about the primary for a minute. Do you mind if I break things down so you can see it for yourself? Because since you come and you come in respectfully, we want you to know everything. So if you don't mind, I would love to break some things down to you so you can just put the pieces together. Oh, there you go. All right, we back. So, okay, let me see what he say. He said, absolutely, I'm here to learn. Okay, so we're going to break this down for you. Yes, I told you to give people my phone numbers, nasty people and all. I can handle anything. I'm a big boy. I got my big boy drawers on, so I can handle it. So Brandon, here's what's happening, Brandon. I've been knowing them over a year now. We even did some speaking at roof events. So that Saturday that Tim Ramthun announced that he was going to run for governor, I get a phone call on Sunday by Kyle. Well, no, I saw Kyle Hughes in person on that Sunday. Kyle Hughes said, did you hear what's going on? I said, what? He said, Jonathan is jumping into the lieutenant governor's race. I said, really? I personally called Jonathan and I asked Jonathan, was he going to jump in the race? He said, no, he was not going to jump in the race. We got to team up. The reason he wanted to team up with me is because he thought he was going to get the black votes to vote for him. But I tell you what, he's going to get the black votes, but not the way he want them. But anyway, he said to me personally, I had him on speakerphone, he's not jumping in the race. He's staying in the lieutenant governor's race. I mean, in the governor's race. I get a phone call Monday from Justin Smicker asking me to get out the lieutenant governor race and run for Congress because Trump is getting ready to endorse Tim Ramthun, and we all going to ride on that endorsement and win all of our races. So he wanted me, because he was getting ready, he claimed he was getting ready to announce that he was going to run for Congress as well. So we move it forward. Jonathan, on Tuesday, Jonathan announced he's running lieutenant governor. Now, he announced that he's doing it so he doesn't split the Patriot votes. He was calling it a selfless act. Well, here's when the truth came in. 2 days after that, he endorsed Tim Ramthun. He automatically endorsed him. Now, you as a lieutenant governor, nobody will know who I support, who I'm going to vote for, because when you ask me publicly, I tell you one thing: I plead the fifth. I will not answer that question, but I will tell you that I can work with anybody. I tell you that, but I also told you I agitate anybody that don't do their job for the people. So he latched himself to Tim Ramthun, thinking that he was going to get the Trump's endorsement.
Yep.
Okay. So then all of a sudden they created a dream team. Justin Smicker, Jonathan Wickman, Tim Ramthun, what's her name? Karen Mueller was supposed to be this dream team. So now you see the game. The problem with the whole game is this, Brandon. They was green and they didn't know politics. And they should have known that you don't latch yourself to a team. You have to be your own person. And when you come to the table, you got to come with something. You cannot ride on anybody's coattail in this election. Just like Sarah Palin, she was a strong vice president candidate, but McCain was a very weak president candidate. It doesn't work. You got to have a strong governor candidate, and you got to have a strong lieutenant governor candidate in this election right now to get rid of Tony Evers once and for all. So if you go back and you put the pieces together, you'll find out he lied about why he jumped down in the race, because you would not jump down and endorse somebody thinking they're getting the Trump's endorsement. So what happened when Trump endorsed Tim Michels? He told Trump now to stay out of Wisconsin politics.
Yeah.
So that's the whole story. And if you go look at that speech he did at the convention, he said he deserved the endorsement. 2 years he talked about the establishment. 2 years he got to talking about select, not elect. And what did he do? He go right there and tell the select that he deserved the endorsement. Now, that is all you gotta do is look it up. You will follow his thing. You will see it. And it was never for we the people. It was only for we, Jonathan Wickman. It was never for the people. If you follow me from August, from the day I jumped in the race, I was the first. I was the first person to join the race. I have been the same all the way through the race. I have not changed at all. And when I first got in the race, Brandon, I told people, if you look me up, the only thing you're going to find on me is I owe some child support arrears. That was it. And that's when everybody looked up. That's all they found. So I am consistent in everything that I do. This is what separates me. Because here's the thing, Brandon, and if you do your research, you'll find out. The ticket was supposed to be, you ready for this? Because a lot of people ain't paying this no attention. You know why there's a lot of feud between Jonathan and Kyle Utes? It's because the ticket was supposed to be Jonathan Wickman, Kyle Utes, Justin Smicker, and then they asked Jeanette Desheen to run for treasurer. They was putting their own little ticket together back then. But Kyle Utes wouldn't jump in the race at that time. Then when Kyle Utes did jump in the race, they thought they was all going to be a team, and they was not going to be a team because they thought they was going to latch on to me and receive black votes. It's out there. People have been talking about it. And they put it out on Facebook, what they said. So this is why there's bad blood between Jonathan Wickman and Kyle Utes. Oh, no problem, sir. You are more than welcome to stay with us and anytime. I don't hide what I'm doing. Anytime, you are more than welcome. So now that I told you that and you can research it yourself, let's get back to the primary. So the primary, you guys.
That was a good recap. I wanted to hear that all over again.
Oh, you wanted to recap again, right? I mean, because what's happening is we really have a serious thing. This is not just Republican taking control anymore. This is about our children, our grandchildren, our rights. This is about our economy, our dairy. Did you know that USDA went after one of the Amish farmers?
The Amish farmer, isn't that something?
Which
Lord,
which they're not supposed to do again under the Constitution.
In, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Yeah. So they even went after them. So they letting you know they coming, and they not playing about it. The federal government just gave $82 million for SEL. Last year they gave them $15 million. This year they gave $82 million for SEL. So they coming for our children hard.
Yeah.
They're coming to train them to hate themselves, hate the country, hate God. And what are we doing? We're sitting around twirling our thumbs, trying to like somebody. Okay, there you go. Trying to like somebody, and put them in office, but we're not realizing what's at stake. So if there are red flags on candidates, on things that they are doing already in the primary, what do you think they're going to do when they're in office?
Yep,
exactly.
We have another candidate was talking that they mama worked 3 jobs and selling moonshine. I didn't know you could sell moonshine in the projects.
if it's outside of the public jurisdiction, you can.
Well, we talking about the projects, housing authority.
Okay, so then probably not.
So what did they do? Travel down south to get the moonshine, or did they make the moonshine in the projects?
I don't know.
I mean, those are the things that we have to stop and listen sometimes. We just got to listen and say, wait a minute, that don't make sense. It just don't make sense. We got a mayor who bragging about he kept the parks open, but you crushed your own economy.
Yep.
You didn't leave your business open. You didn't leave the church open. You left a park open.
Yeah.
I mean, do we really want someone that is not really going to fight for us?
Wait, they left parks open? Ours had caution tape on it for COVID.
He left the parks open, but he closed the businesses.
Nice.
He closed the churches. He closed everything that he should have fought for, because that's what they voted him in to fight and represent us. You know, he could have did anything. Say, okay, business stay open. If you get a fine, we're gonna come together and pay that fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna fight with you. We're gonna stay. See, this is what we need. We need people to say, you know what, stand up. I'm gonna stand up with you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the thing. You know, the government talks about all of this, like what do they call it? The general welfare, right? But if you look at anything that they consider under the general welfare clause, I could guarantee you probably 99% of it is not general welfare, because guess what? It only helps certain people. It only helps certain groups. It only helps certain, you know, and so you think about what the founders meant by general welfare was anything that the local governments, that the churches, that the families, that the state could not handle, i.e. national security and protecting human rights. Those types of things that we needed on a national level. That was it. And so now we have what we call the general welfare, which is really just a welfare program that people are taking advantage of. And guess who gets to pay for it? The other people who don't get to take advantage of those things. So
exactly.
And so yes, this is why
and we've progressed from it not being popular. You didn't want to go ask for help.
Yeah.
You never wanted to go ask for help. You know, it was something that was, like you said, a last resort. And now everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go apply for food stamps, and I'm going to go apply for this, and I'm going to go apply for that. And it's just like,
And so when you look at it, when we really, really look at this thing, Jesse Ventura, remember Jesse, the governor of Minnesota, right?
Yeah, that was my husband's governor when he was growing up.
Okay. Jesse Ventura was going around showing people concentration camps. Remember that? He was showing concentration camps. FEMA's concentration camp.
Okay.
And they looked at nice. They had the playground for the kids. They had it set up that if we ain't careful, a lot of folks gonna end up there. Why do you think everywhere you go in the major cities right now, you got nothing but storages? Everything turned into storages where you can take your furniture and go put it in there. Why do you think that? Because the more they depend on government, then the government's gonna say, okay, I got a place for you to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I need you to go live in there. And Jesse was showing us all over, and I was sitting there like, people ain't paying no attention.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like they're hiding anything, you know, it's the whole spiel that they've got on the global level, right? You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Well, the United States have been leading us towards that for decades. They've been more and more encroaching on our private lives. We don't even have property rights anymore. Think about it. The moment you stop paying your property taxes, guess what? You lose your property. It's not yours. Right? If they can take your property for any other reason other than you're a criminal and need to be in jail, then you don't actually have property rights. So what are we defending? What are we doing trying to elect people who are going to do the same thing and who don't come back and say, no, we're going to be a constitutional state. We're going to be a sovereign nation in and of ourselves. We're going to tell the government where to stick it, the federal government where to stick it when they send us money with strings attached. And we're not going to be sending your taxpayer dollars out to California or to Pakistan, right? Or to Ukraine. Right. We're going to be using taxpayer dollars from Wisconsinites to pay for the things that Wisconsin needs to be responsible for. And we're not going to be helping the federal government run itself into the ground and destroy the United States. That's not how that works.
And, I think that we have to, this is why this election is so important. And this is why we have to really, really tell people, you got to get out on the 9th. You have to make sure that you out there on the 9th. And if you're not out there on the 9th, then don't complain on what comes out of
Yep.
the ninth, you know,
Exactly.
because you have a choice to fire everybody that have not stood up for us in this election.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yep.
From both sides of the fence.
Yep.
I know
Yeah.
people don't like when I say that kind of stuff, but that's the reality.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's completely true. We can either change course, completely turn around and change course and bring our authority back to the proper hierarchy, right? Where the federal government is the very last bastion of our United Nation, our
Yep.
United States. And then we start on the local level and we get our state governors and our state legislators and get people of integrity in there, people that we've seen, that we've watched their progress. We know what they stand for. We know they aren't going to compromise on when they draw a line, that they're going to stick with it. And it better be a pretty good line, and it better have the Constitution written all over it.
Gotta have it, because if it doesn't, we in trouble. Period.
Yep.
Period. Period.
Yep.
I don't care I don't care who you put in office.
Yep.
They're not standing and defending our rights. And I keep telling people, stop worrying about taxes and wasteful spending when
Yeah.
your rights are being taken away.
Yeah.
You know, and if you start fixing problems, wasteful spending will be over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
primarying is, it's got to be done. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know how many news outlets reached out to me. Oh, you know, we're doing a piece on, you know, why people are primarying. And, you know, it's like, first of all, the seat doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs to the people.
Right.
And to primary is healthy.
Yep.
You know, so it's going to do one of two things. It's going to make the individual who is the current seat holder work harder
Yep.
for that seat, or they'll relinquish it, you know.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
and it's a healthy thing to do. Sometimes you just need to get, you know, that change and, you know, for things to start moving forward. But, you know, the other thing that I was thinking too is that, you know, this primarying has become, you know, when we think about the Constitution and upholding it, you know, we have like the DAs,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where everything in the court system is left up to interpretation.
Yep.
I'm dealing with that right now. Well, it's the way that the court interprets it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Well, then we have a big issue.
Yeah.
We have a very big issue when it comes just to the court's interpretation.
Yeah.
And that's something that needs to be dealt with, because we do have positions that are elected positions that nobody ever primaries.
Yep.
Why aren't they being primaried?
Well, lawyers say a lot of
I would
lawyers
think
I
that
talk to,
that's something we would want to do.
right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of lawyers that I talk to say they don't want to primary a certain judge because
Did we break
if
up again?
if they lose to the judge, now they got to go before that judge, so they don't want that.
Yeah.
So a lot of them, they're afraid. You know, they were like, well, if I lose, then and I got to go before him, he might retaliate on my client or something. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, primary is very good. It's very good because of the fact that as the individuals, and I'm so glad Wisconsin primary is the way it is, that there is no team with governor and lieutenant governor, that the people have to pick you. The people have to pick. And this is the part that I tell people all the time. You have to pick who you want.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how they used to run the presidential campaign, right? The president and vice president were selected. The president was selected. 5 men were sent for president and 5 men were sent for vice president. And then they picked the highest votes on each. And so you could have gotten a Republican and a Democrat in office at the same time. And then guess what? You got to work together, because you're not going to get anywhere if you don't, right? So at one point, that was what it was all about. So, you know, I mean,
and you know, that's where the true check and balance come in at.
Yep.
But you also got to remember though, you also got to remember too though, in the process of that check and balance, when it was, I wouldn't want it to be the Republican president and I had a Democrat primary. I mean, a Democrat vice president, because he might have me shot so he can take over.
Oh, come on. We're a civilized society.
Yeah.
Come now.
Kidding.
That's a little too much.
Yeah.
Too far
Yeah.
fetched.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, they'd be like, hey, we need to take him out now. You know,
Oh, see, they would have at least challenged you to a duel, Dr. King.
There we
now,
go.
I can do a duel. I can do a duel all day long. Long as I can take Shirley in the duel, I can do a duel. I know Shirley would make sure I come out that duel straight. So as long as I can take Shirley in the duel, I'm okay. But I think that one of the things that we have to do or realize or understand is this. When the people are informed and educated, that's when both sides get nervous.
Yep.
Because the fact that these people are being empowered, and it's not where they'll tell us who to vote for. We now know who we want to vote for. We're doing the homework. We're doing the research. Yeah. We're doing the background check.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Not Shirley. Shirley.
And the only way we can get informed is by taking back our education systems. And it's not just at this point. It's not. How do I put it? It's not just getting on school boards or fighting at school boards to fix our education system, because I mean at this point the public education system is exactly what it's supposed to be, a government indoctrination, right? So we need to start offering alternatives on the low level, on the local levels, and saying, hey, I've got a private school, I've got homeschool, I've got all of these other options, and I'm going to teach my kids exactly what the Constitution says, so that when they see their rights getting taken away, they know what they're fighting against, right? And so we need to do that in our communities, and I feel like our county party is so good at that. We have events all the time, talking about the Constitution, talking about the Declaration, talking about our history, talking about what we're fighting for and why. And so yeah, it really does come down to that. So yes, vote in the primaries, because we really need to have people who are going to start educating on all levels of society, not just at home.
Yeah, and the thing that I want to see, I don't care when the debate is or who debating, I want them to walk in there blind. I don't want them to know the questions.
Yes.
I want them totally blind to the questions, because anybody can get with anybody and make themselves sound good if they know the questions.
Yep.
I don't want nobody to have a question.
Yep.
I want everybody to have to get up there and shoot from the hip, and then you got a real debate. But if you're gonna give me the questions before the debate, that's not a debate. That's just who can sound the best. Put us together.
Yeah.
Nobody know the questions.
Yeah.
And hit us.
And on a funny note on that,
see what they're all about.
Yeah. And on a funny note on that, did you see AOC's interview? It was on like ABC or CNN. Did you see she was recently hit with a question like that? You don't get those very often in the mainstream media. Oh my gosh. It was hilarious. She was asked if she would endorse President Biden for
I saw
again.
that one.
And I think the newspaper reporter was surprised that she didn't have an instant answer, because I think the newspaper reporter must have been told that this was a question that was already vetted. But it was so funny to see her try to hedge around that. It was man, I laughed.
what was the phrase you used? We'll deal with that when it.
We'll deal with that when it happens, when it comes, and we're just
Yep.
focused on the here and now and dealing with the economy. And
But he's done a fantastic job.
Yes. Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, where did our fearless leader go?
Lion.
Well, we girls can take over. How about that?
Whoa. Well, if you guys want to donate to yeah, it's been an interesting year. So yeah, I
Yeah.
met David a little over a year ago when I was hosting my rallies,
Okay.
rally against mandates. And I
Yeah. Oh,
hosted them here in Sheboygan every Sunday for close to 3 months.
wow.
I hosted the first one by myself, but then there was a group of people, and so we decided we were going to give ourselves a little name, and
Okay.
that's when I met David. He was just very very active and getting out there, and so yeah, it's been an awesome year, knowing him, growing with him.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And he is an awesome candidate.
Yeah.
And when I look at the other ones, I'm like, forget it. He's got it won.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
may be partial to him by now, though.
Just a bit. Just a bit.
Yeah, he's just a fantastic person.
Yes.
Well, I don't know
Am
where
I
he
back?
went. We lost him.
Oh, I see you, David.
Okay, I'm back. I don't know what happened.
And
I
now
don't
you're
know.
frozen on me.
Let's see. Ruth, I can hear both of you, but I don't think you guys can see each other. This is kind of
No,
funny.
I can see
Should
Ruth.
we check
Oh,
out?
okay. I'm surprised I don't have more of my own issues with my computer.
So can y'all see me and hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm back. Oh, there goes Ruth. I don't know what's happening tonight.
We're playing musical chairs, musical phones.
Yeah, I think I know what it is. I did not connect to my Ethernet cord. That's probably what it is.
Ah,
That's probably what it is.
interesting.
Okay, let's see. Is she back?
Not yet.
Yeah. So what was y'all talking about while I was gone? Y'all talking about me, weren't y'all?
Yeah, we were. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I don't know what happened. Well, now she gone. Let me
Yeah.
see.
Oh, coming back.
There she go.
Can you hear us?
So
Are you on your phone, Ruth?
I think so. So
yeah, I think I'm gonna check out because my internet has been crazy since we had the storm.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. So you were saying something, Ruth, about I heard something about you was talking about when we met. Ruth?
I think she said she was going to check out because of the storm, or they were having some issues with the internet since the storm.
Oh, it's a storm up there?
No, they had a storm and they've had internet issues ever since. So
all right.
So yeah.
I don't know. She's just sitting there. So let me see. Did that bring her back?
Maybe.
Ruth?
Oh. Let's see.
Hello? Hello?
Oh. There she go. Okay, so do you want to say your final goodbyes, Ruth?
if everybody can hear me, I'm not sure. Unfortunately, we had that storm this past week, and it hit us hard. So the internet connection's been really bad. I have to sit in the middle of my house to get any reception at all.
Mm.
So yeah, for primaries, you know, it's really important as an individual, and the reasons for primarying for myself. You know, it was very personal. You know, I felt that, you know, things weren't getting done. And so many individuals were losing their businesses and losing, you know, their jobs, all on our constitutional rights and our civil rights being violated. And
Yep.
I saw no one in leadership stepping forward. They
Yep.
all took a back seat to it. And so if they're not willing to do it, I'm going to step up, because I've been doing it since it happened to me, you know, and the only difference is I'm not getting paid for it. So, you know, bring it on, and we're going to try to get some things done. What they
Yeah.
do for me, I'm going to try to do for everyone else.
Awesome.
All righty then. We thank you for joining us.
It's great meeting you, Ruth.
Yeah, and unfortunately my internet is breaking up, so I am going to let you guys go. You guys have a good evening. It was nice to see you, Sarah. David, we'll be talking
Nice
again
to see you
soon.
too.
Yep.
All right, bye.
Bye. All right. And there's two.
And now we are two.
Now we are two. Okay. So let's oh, somebody said bye, Ruth.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so we really got to get people out on the 9th
Yep.
to vote. We got to
Yep.
inform them. We got to be educational.
Yep.
You know, we got to just tell truth.
Yep.
And I tell people all the time, telling the truth, you're not smearing no one when
Yep.
you're telling the truth. So we just need to tell truth. We need to make sure that everybody is informed.
Yeah.
Because if you don't go out in the primary, then you stuck with whoever
Yep.
in November. And we cannot afford to have weak candidates going up against Tony Evers. We just can't have it. We have to have people that can go into different areas of Wisconsin and relate with those people, have conversation with those people, and pull them over. You know, whether they're a libertarian or independent, a Green Party, or frustrated Democrats. It doesn't matter. You know, people that doesn't relate to any of them. You know, don't want to be owned by none of them or be a part of any of them. We have to get out there, educate them, and teach them the importance of this election and the way it's going. Like J-Rod said, California is on its way this way.
Yeah.
You know, they said how much they can get away with it in California and in New York.
Yep.
And then they're going to say, oh, we're going to just come and meet in the middle and we'll take over the Midwest. But we got news for them. It is not going to happen in Wisconsin.
Yep.
You know, we might have a lot of people flooding to Wisconsin instead of leaving.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to allow it to happen here in Wisconsin.
Yeah. That's why we've got to get people in Wisconsin educated and informed, because when those people do show up, even if they try to vote their policies that they just left, right? They're going to be a minor voice in the community, and they'll thank us for it eventually once they realize. Yeah.
And that's the thing that we have to look at. And that's the thing that we have to understand and realize, is that as a people, we got to come together and do it.
Yep.
As a people, you know, even with the Revolution War, everybody didn't have the same agreements. That's why it was 27 of them.
Yep.
You know, everybody wasn't in agreement, but they was in agreement on one thing: get rid of King George.
Yep. Because he'd violated their human rights, and they knew that those rights came from God.
Yeah. So they're
And
like,
and
oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that that's exactly what we need to keep going back to and keep pushing that forward. Freedom can only exist when we understand it, right? When we understand what freedom actually is, that's the only time that it can exist. Because if we don't know what freedom is, you think of people in North Korea, they don't even have a word for freedom over there because it is
Right.
so foreign a concept. They have the government, they have that is their God, and they don't understand liberty, they don't understand human rights. And so if we don't understand that and then we have we don't have anything to fight for.
But
I mean, I like history buff here. In 1945, did you know that America had 6% of the world's population in 1945? They had 50% of commerce and like goods and services, 50% of the world's commerce, goods and services, and over 50% of the world's freest people lived in America. We need that again. It's 77 years since then. We need to take that back again because we used to be an independent group of sovereign nations that fought for freedom and was a place that people ran to. People are running here and realizing, oh wait, you guys are losing it, and I just left a nation that lost their freedoms because of what you're doing. I don't want that, right? So we need to take that back.
yes, we definitely have to take it back. And the thing about it is this, and I put this up for a reason, but it wasn't all farmers. You got to understand,
Yeah.
it wasn't just all farmers because you also had the Black Road regiments.
Yep.
You know, the pastors came out of the pulpit. You
Yep.
know, I mean, everybody from all walks of life. What was it? 33%.
About 30 to 33% of them, and then there was 30% that fought on the other side for Britain, and then 30% were neutral, so they kind of helped both sides.
Right. And so we have to look at it, and we need people that's going to help both. Well, we need people that's going to help us.
Yeah.
Keep Wisconsin in a. I'm talking about first shot fired. Okay. But
That first shot fired was let out by a pastor. I don't know if he fired the shot, but he was the one who was in charge of the regiment that was out there.
That's why the constitutional queen is on here.
Yeah, I'm the constitutional queen, or just the annoying person who knows too many things. And most of them useless bits of information.
I think that, if we just oh, look at Amber is here tonight.
Hi, Amber.
Yes, some of us do. Some of us do. And this is why we have to get out. We got to get the people out in August. We have to tell them, if you don't vote in August, then you can't complain. You can't
Exactly.
You can't cry, you can't complain, you can't do nothing.
Yep. Yeah, if you're not going to fight for your freedoms, then don't cry and complain when you lose them.
I know, right?
Yep.
And you don't know how good it is until it's gone.
Yep, exactly.
And the thing that we're fighting about now is because we did not take it. I mean, we took it for granted. We took freedom for granted. We never thought in this country we'll be fighting for freedom.
Yeah.
Never thought.
But I mean, the founding fathers told us that we were going to fight. Like they said, you cannot stop fighting, right? It is freedom is lost when you give up the fight, when you stop informing and educating, when you stop teaching your future generations that freedom needs to be guarded and protected and fought for. That's the problem, is that we stopped fighting for it.
And what also with that is this: when you look at when we look at it, right? and we look at it and say, you know what? Yes, the founding fathers told us this, but we didn't listen.
Yep.
How many people said, man, I can't wait to get out of my parents' house. Now wishing, man, I wish I can go home. I wish I could go back.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yep.
And so, so I think that what we need to do is we got to get the people out to vote, and we can't do it in a way just, let's see, what she say?
Yeah.
That's right. That is so true.
Yeah, we all have a part to play in this. Not everybody is cut out to sit on a county board or run for lieutenant governor or run for president of the United States, but that's not the point, because the point isn't the people in office, it's the people voting them in, really, ultimately. If we the people are responsible for who gets into those offices, and if we're not paying attention, if we're not doing our part, if we're not informing ourselves, then it doesn't matter who makes it to the primary anymore, because we're just getting the lesser of two evils, and ultimately that's going to be what destroys America.
Yes. And we got to stop just looking at because they got an R or a D behind their name. Look at the person. Look at the character of the person, and making sure that that they line up with what you believe in. That they, I watched so many people. They started bragging about, I got endorsed by Right to Life and pro-life and all of that.
Yeah.
All you have to do is fill out the survey and say what they want you to say, and you endorse.
I know. I mean, how many candidates are endorsed by Right to Life? You're not the only one. It doesn't make you special.
Be safe on your way to work, Amber.
Yes. Drive safely.
Yeah, but that's what we get. So-and-so endorsed me. So-and-so endorsed me.
Yeah.
So-and-so. If they really do their background check on you, I'm wondering if they will endorse you.
Yeah, I want to know how many people endorsed by Trump actually were known by Trump, right? Or were they just handed to him on a silver platter and said, hey, these are the establishment people, or these are the party people that we want in office. Can you endorse them? And he's like, oh, sure. He's like, who cares? I don't care what a former president thinks about the people running for office right now in my state. It doesn't matter. What matters is, do you have character? I don't care if you're the pretty one, or if you're the incumbent, or if you're the female on the ballot. I don't care. I care about are you a man or woman of integrity? Do you have truth on your lips? And do you stand for the values and the foundational principles that this Constitution, our rule of the land, our law of the land, stands for? Are you going to protect my human rights? And if not, get out. I don't want you near me.
Yes, and and so we really, really have to. Let me see. What did he say?
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people who are like, I just don't even want to vote anymore. Well, guess what? You show up at the polls, the more people we get who are going against the establishment and saying, I'm not going to vote for the hand-picked party representative, vote. Get out and vote. Vote for the one that you vote for the one that is not the main runner-up, right? Or the main runner, right? Like get if you don't know who they are, don't vote just because the party said so.
Right.
Don't.
Take your time and look at them and be like, And not only that, I think that I think what's funny is when you ask them about vision, they don't even know vision. They they try to use the scriptures, but they don't know vision. And I laugh because when you talk, like, I'll give you an example. I was talking to an elected official yesterday at Juneteenth Day. And our Juneteenth Day normally goes from Burleigh to North Avenue. So it would normally go let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 block long, about 9 blocks long. And well, we already know you're not a party pick, but that right in, you're gonna win that thing. But so they normally went, and then they started chopping it up.
Yeah.
And they started at Center Street, and they wouldn't let us go south, but they went north. And when they went north, they went farther north than normal. So I'm walking through there, and I'm walking through there, and I'm walking through there, and I'm walking through there. And I said, oh my God, ain't nobody paying attention to this. And I'm walking through, and I'm walking through. So I said to an elected official, this don't bother you? He said, no. What do you mean? We got more blocks? I'm like, dude, this don't bother you? He said, no, what do you mean? I said, past Center Street to North Avenue, you got Center, Clark, Wright, Monarchy, North. So you got 4 blocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
They stopped us from going 4 blocks south and gave us 4 blocks north. I said, that didn't bother you? He said, no. He said, why should it? I said, 4 blocks south is where the white folks live. 4 blocks north is where the black folks live. So they said, if they're going to tear up, let them tear up over there and not over here. And I'm sitting there like, wow, these Democrats are so cunning that if you don't pay attention, now we telling y'all, burn up your stuff, tear up your stuff. We don't want you over here, so we're gonna stop you. We put a like a
gated community.
Yeah, like a gated community.
Yeah.
Now when y'all come, because what they did at Juneteenth, they take the horses and they force the people to hurry up and go home. So the horses coming from the south going north. So they're pushing the crowd north. And I'm sitting there like, wow, do y'all see this?
Yeah.
And everybody I was talking to, they was like, no, I didn't see anything wrong with that. And I'm sitting there like, dude, for real?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And what they're saying is we invest in this area because now these houses on this area are going for a lot of money now.
Yeah.
You know, and so we're not gonna let y'all tear this up. We're gonna push y'all back into y'all hood and y'all go over there. And so when I look at that, I'm sitting there like, man, and then none of the elected officials. And I was exposing it to them, right? I'm like,
yeah.
And they was like, no, we don't see nothing wrong with it. We got extra blocks. And I'm saying, dude, extra blocks where though?
Yeah. Yeah. Back a little ways, Rustin said something I was just asking for clarification on. He said the Republican Party voted to separate the home at its last convention. I can't respect that. I'm curious what you meant by that.
Oh, let me find it so I can put it up.
It was maybe 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Oh, 3. Right there.
Yeah.
So, Russ, what you mean by that?
Because I mean, I know like when they passed the resolutions just full flat without any discussion, they passed one that gives the death a resolution for giving the death penalty to anybody who shoots a cop. And that one bothered me a lot because it's like, well, what about if they barge into your home without a warrant and you shoot them in self-defense? You get the death penalty for that, for defending your castle? Whole family must be Republican?
Oh, I know what he's talking about. What he's saying is, he's saying they passed a resolution where you can't run as a Republican if your household ain't a Republican. Like if the wife is a Republican and the husband is a Libertarian.
This was in at the at the convention, state convention?
I don't know, because I didn't go into none of those.
I'm trying to remember. Was that a resolution? That was a resolution. I'm gonna have to go.
Wait a minute. Somebody
Wait.
said, okay, I'm confused. I see yes, no, maybe so. What are we saying?
I'm confused. It didn't. It was a resolution that was put up at first. Oh, it didn't make it to state. Okay.
Oh, it didn't.
I was like, because it was. I don't remember seeing that at state. Good that it didn't make it to state. What a stupid decision that would be. Yeah, this whole concept of party, and it just you get me started, and I
Oh,
can
there was
go.
a resolution that was put up by the Milwaukee area
Oh, good Lord.
GOP. Oh, okay. But I tell you though, we really got to inform people. We got to educate people. We got to get them to think about what they doing, how they doing it. We got to make sure that we inform them of candidates and what they really stand for. Not this lying stuff that they doing right now.
Yeah.
Because they're some of the literature by some candidate is so deceiving. You don't know truth when you see it.
Yep, exactly.
I'm watching them. You got everybody now showing their picture with Trump. And I'm sitting there like,
Yeah. Or did you see Rebecca Cleavish's picture with Robin Voss?
no.
Yeah, she got a picture with Robin Voss. It was at some I don't know, some fundraiser or something like that, and it was just like, oh my goodness.
And then you saw Robin Voss got a picture with him and Trump.
Yep. And I mean, again, you wonder how much of that Trump actually realizes because I mean, how many times during his presidency did he say, people would come out and say, oh, you got a picture with this person who is a white supremacist or, something like that. And he'd be like, I don't even remember that. I take pictures with so many people, like
Exactly.
it's just like, why does this matter? I don't care if you
but you got to remember it's all about image.
Yeah.
It's all about the image.
Yeah.
How can I make myself look good? How can I make myself different than everybody else?
How about this for image? Yeah, Caesar's on the coin, but whose image are you made in?
I know, right?
Yeah.
And so when we look at it though, we have to bypass the images.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. We see a pimp in a nice car, nice suit, and everything. The next thing you know, you're the worst thing you can ever get hooked up with. So
yeah, exactly.
So I think that what we really have to do is we really have to look at it and say, you know what? I got to look at my kids and who's going to fight for them. I got to look at my family. Who's going to fight for them? If I got a business, who's going to fight for my business?
Exactly.
Those are the things that we got to ask ourselves. Not do they have an R behind their name?
Yep.
Not if they're calling the establishment a name and then running back and saying, I deserve your endorsement and stuff like that. I mean, those are the things that we just really have to really look at because I exercise my right in the mayor's race,
Yep.
What did he say? Leave them pimps alone. I was wondering when you was going to come around.
Hey there, Ed. Wait. Is that pimp named Slickback? Is he one of Biden's old friends?
Never did you no wrong. But so in our mayor race, I could not vote for either one of them.
Yeah.
So I wrote my own name in.
Yep.
I still voted. And I kept my values, right?
Yep.
I voted for a man of character.
Yep.
So, but if a person doesn't go out and vote, you can't complain. If your
Yeah.
rights get taken, that's what you wanted. You wanted them
Yep.
to take your rights and govern your life.
Yep.
You
Exactly.
know, and
Exactly.
so, but we got to get everybody out in the primary. We got
Yep.
to get them out. We got to get them to go out and vote. We got to get them to understand what's at stake. That's
Yep.
what we really need to do. And we
Yep.
gotta stop this being on the defense stuff. I see that too much.
Yeah.
Every time you see a liberal, you see or a Democrat, we get on the defense, and I'm sitting there like, why did you just jump to the defense?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just stay on the offense? Why didn't you just ask them how they like the gas prices, or
Yeah.
how do they like the food shortage?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, there's a lot of things you could have asked
Yeah.
instead of getting on the defense.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
Yeah, and and when people come in and they tell me, oh, thank you Russia for the high gas prices, and I'm like, hey, did you realize that before Biden took office, we were energy independent for the first time in ever as a nation, and then Biden, the moment he took office, shut down our pipeline. It's not Russia's fault our gas prices are high. Like
yeah,
just again, it's education. Did you know this? Did
yeah,
you know, did you realize this? Here's some proof. This is what, this is where we get it from.
yeah. And we got to go on this. What she's saying, we got to go on a deprogram to deprogram ourselves. Matter of fact, I think we need to detox a lot of folks too.
Oh yeah, heavy metal detox.
Yes, because this stuff out here,
Yep.
no, it's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let you do your 2-minute. Why is important to vote in the primary? Then I'll do my 2 minutes. We'll close it.
Yeah.
Next time we'll do a 3 hour, but we'll do a 2 hour now.
Sounds good. We'll have to start a little earlier.
I know, right?
Sounds
Okay,
good.
there you go.
All right. My name is Sarah Peliquin. I am a wife of 16 years, a mother of 5, and I homeschool. I love my country. I love my Constitution, and I love my state. And so I've gotten into this fight, and I want people who go to the polls understanding who and what they're voting for, understanding that it is values that they're voting for, not people, that it doesn't matter what name is behind it if their values are wrong. They will mess up our state, and they will mess up our nation. They will take away our freedoms. And so inform yourself. If you are going to go to the primaries to vote, and you should, you need to know exactly who you're voting for and exactly why. And it's not because they have a D or an R behind their name. It is not because they have darker, more melanin or less. It is because we have a country to save, and this country was founded on Judeo-Christian principles of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And if you're not going to vote for that, then stay away. But if you are, then know who you're voting for before you get to the primaries. And the primaries are in August 9th. So make a wise decision. And that's all I got to say.
All right. So you guys, we have to understand that the most important race is the primary, because the primary is the one that you put up to represent you. The primary is the one that you have to make sure you got the right person, because you can lose the general election by not paying attention to the primary.
Yep.
And we can afford to lose, not because we can't get the people out, but if we got weak candidates, if we have people that are weak, scared to fight, intimidated, then we're going to lose. So we need people in office that is going to stand up and fight and handle the heat as the heat comes. So we can afford not to do our homework, do our research to make sure that we got the right people in place. So when August 10th comes, we rally together become unified and win in November the 8th. It's so important. So I'm asking you guys to talk to your family, talk to your friends, explain to them why it's important to vote in August, on August 9th, but also tell them don't look for DNR, look for C, character. That's what you need right now. We need character, people of character, people that have been, another C, consistent in what they're saying and what they've been doing. Because if you don't, then what you see is not what you're gonna get. And so you know, so we got to make sure that on August 9th that we get everybody out to vote for this race, whether it's U.S. Senate, governor, lieutenant governor, state assembly, state senate, sheriff, whatever race it might be. But we put people in office that's going to do exactly what they say they're going to do. So this is why August 9th is so important. And so we're going to encourage people from now to August 9th to vote. That if some vote absentee, we want to make sure that the vote is counted well. Your vote will count. We just need you to go out and vote. So with that being said, we want to thank you guys. It's been the Constitutionist. She's been hiding on us. No, she ain't been hiding. She just been busy, and we thank God she's on the county board of Jackson County. So you guys make sure you keep us all in your prayers as we fight to keep our nation a free nation. And everybody rights intact. This is Dr. David King. I am your next Lieutenant Governor. Until next time, God bless, and we love you.